All right, there we are. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
I feel like I'm wearing my my like generic post-apocalypse NPC shirt today. Like you can't really tell like on the camera. I don't think, but like like I've had this shirt a long time. Like the collar's kind of frayed. There's like a bunch of holes around the sleeves, and like. Not this one, but I have another one. It's got like a stain that's just like permanently on it. And like, I don't even know what this is supposed to be. There's like these like, it's probably hard to see. There's like these like kind of like denim like material, like on like the elbow area, like pads or whatever. Like it doesn't really make any sense, but I like these shirts because they're like kind of like sweatshirts, but they're a little less thick than a sweatshirt. So it's like kind of this weird middle ground. So like I hang on to these shirts because they're like very useful at a specific time of the year that's cold, but not super cold.
Well, it's just you know, it's your comfort. It's your comfort. You know, you feel safe in it.
Yeah, and I guess I wanted to pick a comfy game to play today. Although I am going to be playing hard mode.
December.
Huh?
This is the first week that we've been on our own in a little while.
It is. Yeah. What was the last game that we played? What do you mean?
Agalos.
Oh yeah, Agalos. Yeah, Did you ever finish it?
I did. Yeah.
You seem to really like it.
Yeah, I was overall impressed. I liked it. I was able to almost do everything. I think I got 97% completion by the end.
Wow, that's pretty good.
I tried to get 100, and I couldn't find whatever last thing that I needed. Yeah, I finished that on Thanksgiving Day.
Oh,
actually.
Cool. Well, should we just get right to it?
Yeah, this game is awesome.
Yeah.
This game is awesome, and this is coming from somebody who is, for lack of a better word, like bored by Kirby Star Allies. This game destroys Star Allies.
Well, wasn't this like kind of your first Kirby game, or like the first one that you like really put time into?
Yes, it definitely was. But I mean, I think it's a really, really good game. And the thing with Star Allies is that the multiplayer is, I think it's more obnoxious than anything. Because especially if you have kids you're playing with, they're constantly fighting about who's going to be who. Like, oh, I want to be this character that you just picked up.
Can't you just be like multicolored Kirby's too, though?
I don't think so.
Maybe that's this. This one has the multicolored Kirby's.
Does it? I don't think so.
You can be like...
Maybe he has an option for one.
You can be Waddle Dee, DDD, and Meta Knight, but I think you can also just be Kirby's if you want to be. So that, because each of them only has like one move set. So I don't know that much about the hard mode. Like, look at this Bronto Burt. He's like kind of bigger than normal. Not much bigger, but a little bigger. Some of the Waddle Dees have been bigger. This Broom Hatter looks a little bigger. I mean, the thing that's kind of crazy to me about Star Allies is, I think there's a term people have. I forget what it is. Like Kirby Revival or something like that. I mean, we're kind of at a Kirby Golden Age right now because it took all this time, and now we're finally getting these games that have like the superstar mechanics, which is clearly the best Kirby mechanics. And now, but that was like kind of divide up into these little short games. Now we've got this, we've got Triple Deluxe, we've got Planet Robobot, we've got Star Allies, and they're all based on that superstar control scheme.
In a lot of ways, it's just like Kirby going back to what made Kirby good. And for the longest time, they just couldn't understand that just people wanted to play like a normal Kirby game. So everything had to be really weird, and they just couldn't figure it out. I mean, it felt like Alex Kidd never went to do another game like Miracle World until on the Genesis. But I mean, I guess that's kind of a weird example.
I mean, that's a Master System Kid example if I ever heard one.
Yes. But when people just really wanted a good, a traditional style Kirby, and it's they're gonna do, all kinds of weird stuff, and really this is just what they needed to do.
Oh yeah, and it took so long for them to do it. It's so good.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of people though who actually prefer, I think, the more spin-off brand of Kirby. The Dream Courses and Mass Attacks and stuff like that.
Those are fine if you have these in between.
Yeah.
But it was for years where that was all that there was.
Well, a lot of them were also developed by Flagship, which is that Capcom partnership that they have where they made a bunch of those Game Boy Zelda games. They did the remake of Adventure, all that kind of stuff. So.
I wanted to address that there was a $5 donation from Container 7 before the stream, when we first started streaming.
Indeed.
And they were very excited that the stream was an hour early. But I'm not sure if Container 7 has been here since we moved to the 8 o'clock time slot.
Yeah, we did that on the first Sunday, or really it was the first day of daylight savings time ending or whatever.
Right. So I mean, just a little bit over a month now.
Mm.
But there's also a $5 donation from EB Chill 2. Thank you.
you.
It says, I beat this game this year doing your playlist PS3 360 Wii video. Nice change from Alan Wake. It was the first Nintendo game I beat since 1988.
What?
Wow. Wow.
I'm surprised, but that's. I think that's a great game to pick, nonetheless. I mean, this is one of the best games on the Wii. I mean, I don't know if that's necessarily a.
That's Blu-ray. Best game.
Huh?
It's absolutely one of the best games.
Yeah, I don't know if it's something that a lot of people really think about, but it definitely.
I would buy a Switch compilation that had this, Triple Deluxe, and Robobot on it.
Oh yeah. I was saying in our Discord channel earlier that Switch Pro needs to get a 60 frames per second version of Star Allies, because I feel like that would make the game significantly better.
It's weird. After you get used to it, it's fine. But I felt at first it's very jarring.
Yeah, it is. I mean, definitely it doesn't ruin the game, but it's just so disappointing because it's why? 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 It's a platformer. I'm no frame rate snob, but it's so weird.
Yeah, and I mean, I think I said to you that the Star Allies, there's just something about it's just really, really boring.
It definitely feels like they spent most of their resources building it up, take advantage of HD and stuff for the first time. They used all their resources kind of building up their technology and then didn't have time to make much of a game out of it. But that, I think, is people generally say that all of the bonus content makes it a much better game. This little mini boss is a lot harder on hard mode. Oh, Sandy is way into Kirby running back and forth here. Remember that tweet that it was the day Star Allies came out. Sandy was just a puppy, and she was way into the title screen.
Yeah. Yeah, Zane's dad says Return to Dreamland is the best multiplayer Kirby.
And I've only played it multiplayer. That was one of the reasons because, something else I'm actually kind of excited about. I mean, this is like not to say I did not have a good time playing with my friends, but I feel like, I feel like, especially when you're streaming too, like you're just like paying attention to so many things, and certain aspects of the game may not sink in as well as they could otherwise. Of course, I'm streaming now, but some of these Nintendo multiplayer platformers are so chaotic that it's just like the overall nature of the game doesn't really solidify in my mind.
Oh, are you playing this on the Wii Dual?
Oh yeah, I meant to say that earlier. This is like the first time that I'm like really like. I mean, I turned it on when I got it, but this is going to be the first time I'm putting any significant time into it. So yeah, that was one of the reasons I wanted to stream it, because I just got this. When Dan sent me back the Dreamcast, PlayStation, and this. So it is indeed a Wii Dual.
Somebody was asking, when's the next episode? It's still up in the air. Hopefully it'll be out within a week. It's going to be on the NT Mini Noir.
We thought we would easily have it out like last week.
Yeah.
But that just has not happened. So I mean, it's been challenging to get all put together. But like we're trying to get done as quickly as we can, and then after that we're going to. I've actually already written almost everything that I need for our annual Games We Played 2020 video. And we're going to go ahead and get that done.
Yeah, we want to get that done. I mean,
and then
ahead of time, and then I'm going to see what else December, whatever time I have left.
Yeah, I mean, you're planning to work on a couple of things, like they'll probably release between December and January. Mode, Mister, stuff like that. So there will be at least 2 episodes in November. That's a promise.
Gaming Blows is saying that my voice is literally half the volume of yours.
I mean, that's probably just because I'm talking loud. But I mean, your levels don't necessarily look that bad to me.
Okay, well.
I mean, let's get some more opinions here.
But someone was asking if there's not going to be any surprises in this, in the video, and I mean, maybe, I don't know. I mean, it's I think there'll be some surprises and some fun things to see on there.
One thing I did yesterday was use MD Fourier like myself for the first time, which was actually kind of fun.
Right. Yeah.
So I did that. Artemio kind of walked me through it, and I got, I mean, I think I'm pretty impressed with what you can do with sound on the Noir, and the simulated expansion audio is a lot better than it was on the first NT, which, I mean, I think was okay, except for the FDS. The FDS just, it needed a low pass filter that it was, the FPGA on the first version was too limited, so.
But as we understand it, there are people working on it to get it how people want it, I guess. I think that, I mean, there's definitely some quirks in this launch firmware for it.
Yes, I mean,
And we talk a little bit about that, but I mean, it's entirely possible that stuff's going to be cleared up by the time we release the video.
yeah, I don't know what Kevin's firmware schedule is looking like, but the aspect ratio presets are
Like beyond wrong.
yeah, like Kevin definitely made a little goof, I'd say, on oh man, I should have grabbed the sword.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, but it's not like you can't set it for what it should be. And we've got settings in there that are kind of mostly based on Firebrand X's settings, but I made a couple of small tweaks. So, I mean, I'm really happy with the interpolation and everything. So, I mean, you know, it's kind of an odd episode for sure, in the sense that it's like, you know, you can't look at this and then be like, should I go spend my money on this? Because you can't. Yeah. But, you know, it's my hope that, you know, it is a hint of more NES stuff to come, you know?
Because, I mean, it's an awful lot of effort to not do anything with it beyond this. But, I mean, it's not even an episode that we originally ever intended in doing.
No, I mean, we didn't, well, because we didn't think, you know, the pre-orders were closed before we knew it was going to be anything different from the existing version, you know? So we didn't think we were going to have an opportunity to get our hands on one, but so we do. You know, I thought it was such an interesting idea in this game to combine Spark and Plasma. Because Plasma was introduced in Superstar, and it, I mean, it's kind of broken. It's awesome. And Spark I always thought was like not that interesting. So putting the two together is definitely cool.
But I think after we do this video, early in the next year, we have like 2 smaller episodes that are things that we had kind of agreed to do. And I think after those are done, we are going to take a break from doing like videos on things that we've been sent, and we're just going to spend some time, a long time, I think, just like doing videos that we want to do and things that we have wanted to do. And like for me, it's definitely a Mr. episode. It is a setup episode. It's a super gun episode. Like the stuff that I like really have just wanted to do for a long time, but things that we've like agreed to do videos on, I guess had to take precedence over it. And just like with the way things have been, like my kids are back home like doing virtual learning, and it certainly is not easy to manage, which is why like I guess there's kind of a gap in between things here.
Well, yeah, that and obviously I've been working on Analog Frontiers, which, you know, right. I've not been able to make nearly the progress that I expected this year, but like sort of a big decision that we made was after this Inti Mini Noir thing, which, you know, we didn't even think we would have an opportunity to do. Like, I am working on Analog Frontiers until it's done. I'm not letting myself be distracted by other episodes coming along. I mean, you're planning to do several things back to back that you can pretty much, you don't really need my involvement.
Right.
And I'm.
But you're like, there's gonna be no breaks or anything between.
No breaks between episodes. You know, it was a huge mistake. I mean, maybe I shouldn't say it was a mistake, but you know, just in terms of getting Analog Frontiers done, making the that IPS video was kind of a big mistake. Because I thought it would just be this easy little thing. Because everyone was talking about how amazing they were. And then I'm like, oh, these kind of stink. Okay, I shouldn't say they stink, but like there's real problems that no one was talking about.
Really put your nose up against it.
Yeah. So, yeah, it was not the easy little project that I expected it to be.
Right. So you're gonna be very focused on that, and that's like the only thing you're gonna be doing until it's done.
Yep.
So it's gonna leave a mode video for me, an MVSX video, and that's like the end of our commitments.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't say
that,
commitments, because that makes it sound like we're like hired to do the video. But I mean, I know what you mean. Like stuff that we were sent as review units, you feel like you ought to actually do something with it.
Well, I mean, yeah, exactly. But then after that, we're just gonna really focus on doing the things that
yeah, I mean,
we want to do. I mean, I feel like there's been a definite shortage of that this year.
Yeah. And, you know, there was, you know, we always get caught up in, you know, just everything has to be so big. And, you know, we've talked about this a lot before, obviously, but, you know, it was actually interesting. Like right after you and I had kind of been talking about this, someone sent us a DM on Twitter saying like, you know, I love all the videos you guys used to do on like these shorter things. I don't have the time to watch all these long videos. And we're like, we agree. I mean,
exactly.
The thing is like you might, when you're doing these long videos, you might start off pretty into it, but then like by the time you're done with it, you're just like kind of ready to be done with it. And I really want to do videos on subjects. It's just like, I want to do a video on this because I am interested in this right now. I just got my PS1 digital. I want to do a video about it right now. But the thing is, there's so many other videos we're trying to get done that we're not doing a video on that right now. And that it would be fun too, because I just got it. I'm excited about it. But, you know, and maybe we will eventually, but it's just like there's so many other things on our plate that it feels like we can't.
That's pretty much what I think about. I've thought about that a lot lately, about how previously would have had the opportunity to do a video on something that was new, and now it feels like if we want to do a video on something, it's always takes too long to do it, and then I think that
everyone else has already made a video anyway.
Yeah, so we want to get back into doing stuff like just stuff that we're like excited about, and I mean just get excited about stuff again. I mean it's been a hard year for everybody. It has been a hard year for everybody, and I think that also like it's just. I mean, I'm not sure if anybody notices this or not, or if anybody is like a creator of any sort. If you've felt that it's just been harder to do anything, and even be creative and be excited about the things that you're creating, when everything's so depressing. I know it sounds like ridiculous to say that, but
I mean, it can definitely be distracting, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I guess it's depressing, and now we're heading into like these dark, gloomy months, and it becomes even harder.
I'm excited about kind of our direction for next year, though, and obviously, Analog Frontiers is going to have to get done for us to really get there, but you know, I'm excited that we've made this commitment to. I'm doing the last 3 parts back to back, no breaks, and like honestly, none of them are going to be as hard as part 3.
Right.
The one thing though is that there's a lot more writing left to do on part 5, but you know that'll be just a little break.
Going in with a complete picture of how everything is. So really quick, there was there's $5 from Demo Kirby. Thank you so much. Saying thoughts on a sideways Wiimote control. Would you like to see an aftermarket Wii remote designed with a better control layout, such as a big D-pad and face button?
That's an interesting idea. I mean, I wonder how complex the technology. I mean, or like if the technology could be replicated, or potentially even better, with like readily available components today.
I mean, I don't love it, but I mean, I guess I don't mind it that much.
No, I don't hate the Wii remote.
Use the B button.
Huh?
As long as you don't have to use the B button.
Well, in horizontal configuration anyway.
Yeah.
You know, I checked to see if you could use the NES Classic controller with this game, but I forgot that it does have some shake functions. And it doesn't allow you to use a classic controller either. It does require, you know, the horizontal. But you know, I've never had a problem with the D-pad on the Wii. I've always thought it's fine. I mean, it's a little small, sure. But...
speaking of shaking in the controller, there was a $5 donation from Chris Fratz saying, "Fun fact about SCART: you can shake the Wii remote to do the charge up thing and use it like a shield for smaller things."
I don't think I knew that you could, or if I did know you could shake, I definitely forgot. But see, like this, like I have to these like big concrete blocks. I have to shake to
right.
To inhale, which is something I forgot. You know, I don't know if these like larger enemies are actually. I don't think they're any stronger. Maybe, like, the slightly larger enemies anyway. Like, the much bigger enemies, you do have to, like, shake to inhale them. Like, they're just, like, a bigger target.
You can shoot back at the advancing purple to make it go backwards.
Oh, yeah. I remember that now. I was actually doing that not that long ago because this is the game I happened to pop in when I was testing my Wii Dual and I just forgot. Wow, you actually... charge the shaking charges the spark like a lot faster than the D-pad.
Demon Coup is saying, I get confused about Wii games to be played at 4:3 or 16:9. Don't they all have 16:9 modes though?
No. Like some games, like Wario Land Shake It, have letterbox. Like they have like it has like borders put on the side. I forget if Trauma Center Second Opinion is, but something I didn't realize until relatively recently is that Trauma Center Second Opinion is 480i only.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't think that was even a thing on the.
Yeah, I for a long time I didn't think so either, but it is a thing.
I think that they should make a Kirby game, and the first boss is not the the Wispy Woods.
Not Wispy Woods? I don't.
I mean, no. What I want to see is something where that does not happen, and Wispy Woods ends up being the final boss. I mean, that'd be a pretty good plot twist.
I mean, it's got to be like super. Your final Kirby boss has to be like super dark and intense. So I mean, they've got their work cut out for them.
You might be able to force it to 480p with the USB loader GX. I never really experimented with that.
Oh, I didn't think we had any any resolution forcing homebrew. At the very least, I didn't think it had anything that you could force 240p, which is what I'd really like for some things. Like the Contra, the Rebirth games would be amazing if you could force 240p.
Oh yeah. There's $5 from Will the Woo.
Thank you.
Saying, with 9 months between paying and the Noir finally arriving, I had time to study up. I bet I watched the NT Mini video 3 or 4 times.
Well,
Thanks what y'all do.
Maybe you'll find some tips for setting up the Noir in the new video. I mean, that's really kind of what we're trying to make it about. Is just like, you know,
that's what we usually
here are the features that, you know, you might find useful.
So there was some talk in here about how a lot of PBMs are up to like over $1,000 now.
It's crazy. We got in at the right time.
We got super lucky. I'm trying to talk louder. I don't understand. It's hard to understand you compared to try at this volume. Any louder and try. Try is too loud. Can you crank me up a little bit then? Over there. Or do I not go any louder? I mean, I can get.
Can you go louder on your end? That would be easier because I mean you're up all the way in OBS. I mean, your levels really don't look like they're that bad. They look fine. I mean, maybe I'm just louder than usual because I'm playing Kirby, you know? I mean, gets me excited. What can I say?
See, this is weird because I guess it is showing it here. I can go put my microphone up to 100% from 95.
I mean, let me see if I mean, you know, sometimes I have to reduce you when we're talking on like, let me see. I mean, I've got you on 87%. I'll move you to 100 here. I mean, I don't know. See if that is. Oh, that's way too loud for me. Well, I mean, I can turn my headphones down, but like, why don't you talk for a bit?
Okay, I'm talking. Let's see what. I know I get louder when the microphone it's closer, but then it's like right in front of my face. I'm just like peeking over the microphone like this.
Well, move it where you want to move it.
Well, I mean, like right here is where I prefer it.
Does this seem more balanced to people?
I mean, I guess we'll see. Now I'm too loud.
Well, why don't you reduce it on your end back to 95 where you had it?
Okay.
Is this Kirby super easy?
I've been reduced to 95. That's where I want to stay because that's how I have my recording set up here.
Is it perfect? Perfect now? See, now to me it looks like you're louder than me, but I probably get louder when I'm not looking at the levels. So
exactly.
I'm just going to I'm going to turn my headphones
down. There's a $2 donation from Dominic Rinaldi saying, "Smash Kirby voice. Hi. Hi."
Someone earlier was saying, "Is this Kirby super easy?" I mean, you know, most Kirby games are relatively easy, but I'm playing on hard mode now, so this mode has a little bite to it. People in our Discord were talking like the most recent Kirby games like Robobot and Star Allies. Apparently, they have some. Their challenge modes are apparently like super hard.
Really? So you have not 100%ed those then?
No, I've 100% normal mode in this, but like I've always kind of wanted to go back and 100%, you know, the recent Kirby games because they're all so good, and so I guess this is kind of the first step in doing that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's just had to do with maybe it's just like the whatever I have on this microphone. This is the microphone I've been using for voiceover and everything since I think the Sharp Scale video.
Is that when you set up? That's when you set up your recording at your desk?
Yes. I mean, it's just way more convenient to do it that way now.
Do you know how to tell whether you will be able to come back to the room you are when you're playing a Kirby game?
No.
If there's only 1 star above a door, it means it's a back and forth door. If there's 3 stars, then it's a one-way door and you won't be able to go back without, restarting the level. So
I had no idea.
Pro tip if you were ever like, oh,
I guess so.
Can I go back and collect this in this room later?
Well, he tries using a shotgun mic. I mean, I could get a shotgun mic.
Foot away from my face. I really like this.
Is it a shotgun XLR mic?
Yeah, it is.
I mean, I could mount that somewhere.
I really like it. It's I think there might be a newer model, but it's Samson C02.
It's XLR.
And it's kind of it's not as long as like
C02.
C02. I think there might be newer models though, because last I looked, it wasn't really all that readily available anymore. It was sold as a pair.
Yeah,
which was one of the reasons I got it, because like I was like,
for $120.
No, it was way cheaper than that.
You can get the pencil condenser mics for
pencil was the term that was used on. There might be a newer model though.
Because it'd be nice just to have something mounted where I don't even have to have the microphone in front of my face if I don't want it.
Yeah, I mean obviously it still sounds better if it's closer, but like they said, it's about a foot from my mouth. But the thing I like about it is I
didn't think it would be that close, but I mean, I could certainly do something with this. I mean, I just crank mine up a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, it's just that, the further away it is, it'll start to sound echoey.
Yeah.
But I really like it because they're shotgun mics, but I think that's why they call them pencil mics, because they're only about 6 inches long, so they're not as huge as like a traditional shotgun mic. It's usually like twice as long.
We got Studio Mud Prince in here asking, at what point do you just go with a lapel mic? And we do have wireless lav mics.
Yeah, I've definitely considered that for streams before. I think I may have used them at some point for like...
It's like batteries. We've used them for when we've been in person.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about that I've found when it comes to lav mics is if you're streaming with friends, like asking them to put on a lavalier is kind of a tough sell. Like, I'm a video production guy, like I'm okay with it, but if you're streaming with friends, they aren't gonna want to do it.
For this stream, that barely ever happens though.
Right. But like, I try to make my setup, pretty universal between, how I would stream for the Backloggery or on MLiG. But regardless,
well, I'm going to look into it. I'll look into it because it would be nice just to have something that I could mount like above my computer monitor and leave it. So we'll see what happens.
Well, because I was telling you earlier, I was actually thinking about setting up something that I could record at my desk with.
Mm-hmm.
And, I was actually thinking about using one of these for that.
Oh, well, I mean, I don't know how that would sound.
Well,
I mean, why not just use your Zoom?
Well, I used I use it for, our semi-secret project that we were working on earlier this year.
Right.
And I thought it sounded really good for that when I went back and listened to the
Well, why not?
files.
You should just use that. I mean, that's what I was doing. I mean, that's what I'm doing now. I mean, I have the H6 and you have the H4, but I was using the H4n before I started using this for it. I use the H4n for sharp scale.
Well, yeah, I use H4. I mean, I use H4.
I mean, you could so easily do that if you're doing it like right at the computer you have set up upstairs. You just get one of these mic arms and you can clamp that to the desk. And
yeah,
do it.
but don't you like you're using the H4n for your desk recording?
Well, I'm using the H6.
Right,
yes.
but are you connecting it via analog to your computer or via HDMI or USB? I mean,
it's connected via analog.
See that I don't like that. Like, why add another analog connection? Like, I don't want to do that for my setup. Like, I would
still do the same thing then. It doesn't matter. I'm talking about like the location. Just get a mic arm.
Oh, sure. But I was still thinking, like, if it was close, I think one of these mics would sound good for voiceover, is what I'm saying. I'm not saying, like, have it sit, like, way far back from me or nothing. I mean, I thought, in the stuff we were recording earlier this year, I thought this mic that I was using for that, I thought it sounded comparable to what you were using. I thought so.
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy with the sound that I'm getting, even though that it's analog.
Yeah,
but I'm just recording directly to my timeline too.
Yeah, I know.
Nice.
But I mean,
I could theoretically do this in like via USB as well.
I'm just saying, I think I would do it slightly differently, but I do like the idea of recording at the desk, I think.
Yeah.
I think something that's kept me away from it is just because, like, I'm like, oh, you'll hear, like, the computer noise or something. But I feel like it would, if I could hear it, I think I could definitely cut it out. And, I've certainly I've recorded a number of episodes at my desk lately, and you can't hear my computer, so. I just want to keep things consistent until Analog Frontiers is done, but, I'm going to change things up after that, I think.
There is a $5 donation from Radaman 8000.
Oh.
Thank you. Saying if you're going to go for completion, that's going to include going through a lot of arenas, which are the real stressors. And boy, some of them get crazy.
Yeah, I've heard some of the true arenas get crazy.
I'm gonna look at XLR shotgun mics to see. There's some good ones. I know that DSLR video shooter Caleb Pike just did a video on shotgun mics, so I wonder what he ended up settling on. And I don't want to spend like $500 or something.
No.
But I can see myself like getting,
I think you would be impressed with these little Samson mics, honestly.
Little Samson mics.
Yeah, I mean they are little Samson mics. It's true.
I'm just looking at like these Rode M5 MP matched pair condenser. These are 200, but so they're $100 each, I guess. Then I don't know. See, Samson, it's not bad, but I used to have a Samson mic. I think that I may have given it to you. Did I give you like a Samson VO mic or something like that?
Oh yeah, but that was just like, wasn't that just like a cheap little podcast mic or something?
Podcast mic. It's an actual mic. I mean, it's like a condenser mic.
But I mean, you bought it for podcasting like years ago.
Yeah, but I mean, because I didn't know what I was getting.
Yeah, well, I mean,
but it's not a bad microphone at all. But that's the only Samson thing I bought because that was when I was still living in New York, and the guy who was the sound guy at
he was like super picky.
He was like, Samson's not very good.
Well, he also said that about Behringer.
I highly recommend anything by Shure, and I've only really bought things by Shure since that.
Yeah, well, I mean,
except for like the Rode stuff.
But like, I mean, and I know Behringer is like considered like a budget brand, but I mean that's this Behringer mixer I've been using for streams has been great.
Voltar says he recommends anything Walmart brand. Well, yeah, if you want to dodge the Gaming Blow says you want to dodge the XLR and go right into your PC, check the Rode Video Market. If I was going to go directly to my PC, I'd use this. I mean, that's basically what I'm doing anyways. I think it sounds fine. I'm very happy with the results that I'm getting, with the analog audio coming out of this thing. And I'm just recording directly to my timeline, which is pretty nice, I think, because I can just revoice things and just do it really quickly. And one thing I've found is by editing or recording directly to my timeline, I'm not doing like one big long file. I'm doing one file per paragraph. Mm-hmm. So it's really easy to tell where each paragraph begins and ends, to edit it down or to know how much I have left to do and so on and so forth. Yeah, $2 from Jonathan Hinson saying, in all seriousness, I'm loving this shop talk. Well, it's just...
I mean,
trial and error, really.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't consider our methods like anything like definitive or anything, because, especially when it comes to audio stuff, I'm really no expert. But I really don't think you should be as afraid as you are to do a USB mixer sometime if it was practical. Because you've like been like, oh, I don't know, I'm kind of opposed to that. But like,
I mean,
I was too.
I see it, like a USB mixer, sure. I mean, as long as I can manipulate the different like audio and everything, and just go in, and like it's essentially just like a line in. USB line into your computer, right?
Yeah, I mean, basically exactly what it is.
I've not opposed to that.
I've been really impressed with the USB interface on this. I mean, it makes it really easy to use. But yeah, for a long time I was like, I don't know about you taking my microphones in USB. But I mean, they still start XLR, obviously.
Yeah. So it's still like an analog to digital conversion.
Well, I mean, audio is always analog, at some point. But to get into your computer, it also has to become digital. But then it becomes analog again by the time you hear it with your ears.
Right. I guess that's why I don't feel so.
Yeah, but I mean, the point is there's always going to be a digital conversion. There has to be, because you can't get on your computer without it.
Right.
But it's just that it's, you know, it's not analog down a, you know, a long, thin cord, you know, that's running into your, you know, your sound card.
Right. Well, I don't know. I feel the cables that I'm using are good.
I mean, yeah, I mean, it certainly sounds good now.
Yeah.
It does seem to change a lot, though. That's why sometimes it's like, I don't understand why the sound levels are different this week from last week.
But it's easy for me to be able to run in, just like I can run into my mixer and to my sound card, which is what I'm talking to you through.
Yeah.
But I can record to my mixer for the stream. So I can send you this same audio when I'm streaming. I can send you the audio from this microphone, but also this microphone is feeding into my mixer. Mm-hmm. And then the line out on that goes into my other sound card. Because about a year ago, I got a standalone sound card, a standalone internal sound card. I got a Sound Blaster, like Sound Blaster Z or whatever it is, because I really wanted something that had digital audio in. That was the only way to do it.
I saw Dr. Lilo say Try's audio does sound cleaner than Corey's right now, but I mean, something to keep in mind, obviously, is, you know, he's talking to me over Discord, so, you know, there's obviously some more compression happening on Corey's stuff.
Right. I mean, if you want to know how my audio sounds directly, you can listen to what you're hearing, like in the EverDrive video.
Any recent video.
All that audio was, except for the on-camera stuff. And the on-camera stuff, I had a problem because I didn't turn off my air conditioner. Or not air conditioner, but the, I guess the air was running in the house. And you can hear it. But one of the things I'm hoping to receive from family as a Christmas gift is a Nest thermostat, so I can be able to remotely turn off the like heat and AC from my phone.
Yeah, I always
turn it off.
I always just, you know, go up to the thermostat and turn it off before shooting an episode. Sometimes it can get hot, but you know.
It was $5 from Chris Rat saying, Corey, I'd say get all your audio stuff from Amazon and take advantage of the return policy and experiment. I mean, I am very satisfied with the setup that I have right now. I mean, I think it really only came up because you were thinking about doing something.
Right.
Because you're doing something at your desk. I mean, I don't plan on changing mine anytime soon. I'm completely happy with the way it sounds. Turn off the AC. Obviously, you guys aren't from Florida, but yeah, I mean, it's really just comes down to I need to turn it off when I'm like recording VO or on camera.
I mean, you don't.
Sometimes it's like it's hard to remember, like in the moment. But if I can, this way I can make a profile where I can just like hit a thing on my phone and it will turn it off, and I can just turn it right back on as soon as I'm done, instead of having to potentially forgetting.
The guys that give you the jump power, like I really don't know what. I'm really not sure how I'm supposed to parse their design. They're just like got like a slit on top of their head. It's weird.
Yeah, that's weird. That's kind of weird. PA Felton saying, have you ever tried a USB cord with a tin cup at one end? I haven't. I can only imagine how good that sounds.
This probably sounds a lot like the sound quality in Baten Kaitos on GameCube.
Well, you're using compression. You have a compressor that you run yours through, right?
Well, I mean, it's built into the mixer. That's one of the reasons I bought this mixer. I mean, I don't use it like super heavily, but like, I mean, I do feel it's necessary given, you know, how little control I have over how loud my voice gets.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that really tasty looking plate of curry. Mmm. I probably should have gotten bean.
Yeah, is Sam Ash even still around anymore? I heard the Guitar Center filed for bankruptcy.
Oh yeah, the Guitar Center near me closed not that long ago, which I mean, was really a shame because it was actually a pretty interesting store. You know, like I remember my dad was surprised when I mentioned I went to Guitar Center and bought something. He's like, Guitar Center? Like what business do you have there? And I'm like, well, they've got like it's kind of an interesting store to have around because they've got, you know, all kinds of audio equipment and, you know, cables that you're not likely to find at another store. Like if you need them now, you know, like, I mean, sometimes the cables might be a little more expensive, but I found like with a lot of audio equipment when I would go there, like it was really a good place to just get ideas for what I might want. And sometimes they had like really good sales that I couldn't find anywhere else online. Like that's why I bought this this Behringer mixer, is because it was on sale for a really good price, a lot cheaper than I could find anywhere else online. So I bought it there. It was a neat store.
There's a little bit of talk about the Xbox Series X and Series S, and let me ask you if you've had have you turned on your Xbox Series X since launch week?
Yeah, I've messed around with it here and there. You know, funny enough, this past week I'm not even entirely sure why this happened, but like I was like, of all games, I was kind of sorting through what games, like what 360 games I have that are not backwards compatible. And I was like sort of organizing on a different shelf, just so I could like keep track of what could be played on what system. And very few 360 games I have cannot be played. And like, it kind of just compelled me, like, you know, I'd kind of almost just like to finish my backlog of games that cannot be played on, you know, the current gen. And I just like, of all things, I started playing Fuse from Insomniac Games, which is, you know, a game that did not get particularly good reviews, but like, I mean, it's fine.
I liked it.
I mean,
I don't remember anything about it because that's just the way it is. I mean, it's very unmemorable.
Yeah, but I mean, it's, you know, Insomniac doesn't make bad games, so I mean, it's still, you know.
So you played that? Did you play all the way through it?
I actually beat it just a few minutes before the stream. Because last night I I got to the final boss and he was just really annoying, and I was just like, I'm too tired to do this right now. So I just wanted to finish the boss. I mean, the final boss was just annoying because he had this one attack that like it didn't seem like being in cover helped, and I couldn't figure out how to tell how to dodge it, but I eventually figured it out well enough, I guess. But yeah, I did finish it. But yeah, it's like, it's definitely, you know, not Insomniac's most memorable game, but like, it's fine. And, you know, honestly, it kind of made me, you know, made me a lot more interested to go back and play the Resistance games.
Well, I think it's safe to say that the reason Fuse is what it is because it was EA published, and they made them do a lot of stuff that.
Right. Well, I was actually looking up like
what it looked like before, and
well,
it had
yeah,
a lot.
And a little more personality, I guess.
Yeah, for sure.
But, what, you know, I was reading an article that came from, you know, around the time that Sunset Overdrive was coming out. And, you know, there were interviews with Insomniac people, and they were like admitting, like, you know, it was kind of a hard lesson, you know, some of the things they learned with the aftermath of Fuse, which was like it sounded like they did a lot of focus testing that they shouldn't have done or shouldn't have listened to.
Yes. Speaking of Sunset Overdrive, I wonder if that will ever be re-released.
I don't know. I mean, there's no need for it to be, really, because I mean, I think Microsoft published it, so I mean, it's not likely to go to PlayStation 5, and it's backwards compatible, so.
I understand. I mean, they own it. Insomniac owns it.
Oh, okay.
I mean, Sony owns it now, so I mean, they could just do a new version of the same game. Essentially,
I guess they could. You know, I did read at some point that, you know, that was part of their deal with EA, was that they would own their IP. Yeah. So they own, you know, they own Fuse as well. But, you know, it was, you know, I don't think A1's going to pretend it's like the best Insomniac game ever, because it definitely isn't. But I mean, it's still fine. I mean, you can definitely see where, you know, the EA meddling came in, but it's, you know, it's fine.
Yeah. $5 from EB Chill 2. Thank you. It says, try I beat Resistance 3 this year on a PlayStation 3D TV monitor.
Oh.
It was definitely the best 3D game I played on the PS3. Amazing game.
You know, Resistance 1 and 2 came out during, you know, Insomniac's 60 frames per second era, and then Resistance 3 came out in the 30 frames per second era. But yeah, I always like kind of ignored that series, but like, you know, playing Fuse kind of made me realize, like, even when Insomniac makes a game that, like, on the surface, like, doesn't exactly have like the Insomniac charm, like, it's still a pretty good game.
It's still a solid game. Yeah.
So I'm like, I know the Resistance games are pretty well liked, but it's just like, you know, when you look at them on the surface, it's just kind of like, oh, like, that doesn't look like anything that interesting. But like, you know, Insomniac is definitely most famous for like I feel like the thing that people know Insomniac most for is that they always have like some weapons in the game that are kind of like outside the box.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's basically been their thing, is like crazy guns.
Yeah.
Speaking of guns, I watched for the first. I mean, I've seen it millions of times. Well, not millions of times, but definitely a lot. but I watched A Christmas Story with my kids for the first time yesterday.
Yeah.
And I had no idea how they were gonna feel about it. If they're gonna be into it, or if they're gonna be like, oh, this is boring, or whatever. If it's like, oh, this is an old movie. They say that a lot.
Oh, really?
Yeah. They say you know how I know it's an old movie? It's because it has all the names at the beginning. That's how they can tell.
I feel like there's a lot of new movies that still do that, aren't there?
Oh, I don't know. Not very often. But anyways, they loved it, which further solidifies the idea that, like, I think that there's just something to that movie that is cross-generational.
You know, I'm not sure if I've ever seen, like, the whole thing in one sitting.
Really?
Like, well, I mean, it's like one of those movies because it's just like it's on TV, you know? It's on TV, so you catch it like partway. Like I have never, I mean, I should sit down like from the beginning and just like watch the whole thing to try to get a sense of it because I've never been like one of the hardcore fans of it. Like, it's always just like, it's fine, I guess.
It's very, very good, and I mean it's. And even as a parent, now it's a little bit different to experience as a parent, I guess. But the thing that gets me about it is the use of words by the narrator is very, very funny. The narration is the highlight of the movie, honestly. But I was not sure if they were gonna like it, but I was surprisingly pleased. They were enraptured the entire time. And honestly, it's probably my favorite Christmas movie. Like either that or Christmas Vacation.
I've generally considered. I don't know if this is a popular opinion. I mean, I don't really watch Christmas movies a whole lot anymore, but I've always had a soft spot for Muppet Christmas Carol.
Okay. I could see the appeal in that. I guess when it comes to like Christmas Carol stuff, it's like pretty. Oh, it's pretty like bored by the.
It's pretty overdone, but like that's like the definitive one for me. Like, I mean, the first one I ever saw was the Mickey Mouse one, of course, but like I think the Muppet one is just like so much better that it's like, well, you don't need to really worry about watching any other one ever.
Oh. Gaming Blow says Gene Shepard has audiobooks. Is the author and narrator? He's the narrator in that in the movie? Has audiobooks of childhood stories like that are awesome if you love the Christmas story. Oh wow! I had no idea that he narrates the movie. That's even better. That's great. But I mean, I did buy. When was the last time you saw Christmas Vacation?
I am honestly not sure if I've ever seen it.
Well, I just bought it on the.
On Voodoo.
Yeah, so you should watch it. I think it's great. It's funny and it's been a long time since I've seen it, but it's one of those movies that just gets funnier. You pick out like little things every time that's funny about it, and it's clear after that movie came out. I mean, there was Vegas Vacation after that, but it's not. Vegas Vacation was too slapstick and didn't have the same feeling as the previous vacation movies had, and even so much to the point where they removed the National Lampoon's label from Vegas Vacation. So it's just called Vegas Vacation. It's not National Lampoon's Vegas Vacation. But Christmas Vacation, it's really good. And I mean, I have fond memories of seeing that because I saw that the on my birthday, which is the day after Christmas, the day after I got my Sega Genesis for Christmas in 1989. And I remember it because I saw it at the mall, and that day I had bought with my birthday money. I'd bought Thunder Force 2 and Rambo 3.
Oh.
It's like one of those weirdly specific memories.
You've got a lot of those. I mean, I do too. I mean, you know, I especially games I got back in the day. I mean, I could pick it off my shelf and tell you the whole story about how I came to own it, you know?
Yeah.
Where I bought it and any other context that surrounds it. You know, I could probably still do it with most of my games, but so much, like a lot of especially modern stuff is it was a Black Friday deal on Amazon, you know.
But when it comes to cartridges and stuff,
oh yeah, I mean, most of the time I could probably tell you, which game store or which convention I bought it at. Some I'd probably forget, but
I was looking at our Twitter the other day, and someone followed us an account that is called let's see if I can find it here. It was EB Games 1993.
Oh.
And I don't know if it's just maybe it's gonna be some sort of 1993 styled EB Games Twitter account. It's gonna be themed, but I feel like EB was not called EB Games was not called EB Games in 1993.
They weren't?
Pretty
Oh, just Electronics
sure
Boutique.
Yeah, it's still Electronics Boutique in 19. Although I'm sure that there's people that can confirm or deny that. But I'm pretty sure that in 1993 it was still Electronics Boutique.
I want to just point out that this guy's name is Mr. Duder EX, which is pretty great.
Duder-X.
Well, I think all of the bosses are EX in this mode.
Yeah. And after this, they have EX plus Alpha.
This guy also kind of looks like he kind of looks a little bit like Haltman, the main villain in Robobot.
Jonathan G with the hard questions, saying, how much have you guys played PS5 or Xbox in the last week? I have spent a significant amount of time playing Nier Automata on my PS5, and I am greatly enjoying it. I played through it. I played the the first ending back in I think 2016 or so, when it came out. And I remember not really caring for it that much, and I was just kind of, I guess it was okay, but I think that I didn't really just take it in, and I am really enjoying it now.
I'm looking forward to finally playing it myself. In the past week, I definitely mess around with some stuff on the Series X, but like I said earlier, I was actually playing my 360 more this week, just because I was I was looking at those games that I couldn't play current gen. I'm just kind of like, well, I should get some of those over with. I mean, I beat Demon Souls last week, I guess. So I haven't really had a lot of reason to play PS5 this week, but I've definitely had it on. I can tell you because I put in Shadow of the Tomb Raider on the Xbox because you pointed out something that I didn't realize we could do, which was in our capture card we can adjust how the HDR tone mapping works.
Right.
And we hadn't been totally happy with it, and I didn't even know there was a settings menu for it.
Well, I think they just added it recently.
I have no idea, but like
or maybe it's like a recent update.
They give you some pretty good controls. I didn't get it perfect, but I mean, I don't know if it could be perfect. I mean, yeah, it's the difference of having HDR and not having HDR. But like I used Shadow of the Tomb Raider just kind of as just because it had some particularly nice HDR. I used the Xbox to sort of dial in some settings that I was much happier with.
For those who have played through Nier Automata, was the is like the second and third and however many playthroughs there are. What is the difference in length? And do you start from the very beginning? Because
are you doing a replay or are you doing a fresh file?
I didn't remember anything about the first playthrough, so I just started over from the very beginning. Okay, they're much shorter because my first playthrough for the first ending was like 13 hours.
Oh, that's not. That's not
I'm
even
pretty
that
sure
long. I thought it would be way longer than that.
But I didn't do any. I didn't do any side quests or anything. And this time, which I feel is kind of important, is that you got to really just spend some time just like take the world in because it's like so odd. And it was the same way with the last game, where it's just kind of weird.
Oh, Artemio just played Nier Automata too. That's awesome.
Incredible soundtrack. I mean, I'm very excited to buy the remaster of Nier Replicant when it comes out early next year. Because I really liked it. I'm a little sad that it's not going to have Daddy Nier in it, but hopefully.
Yeah, that's so weird that they wouldn't have made like a version that just has both in the game. Both versions. Like it's really weird to me. Like I wonder if like the designer really didn't want to do that, but he's like also seems like so off, like oddball that like he would like the idea of just having like two versions of the game for whatever reason.
Well, I mean, it almost feels like the father would be more something that he would prefer.
He would be into, yeah. That sounds like that would have been like Square Enix's mandate is, oh no, we need a character to appeal to the 15-year-old kids.
Well, that's too bad because that's one of the things I liked about him. He's just like
this big, ugly, grumpy guy.
Exactly. Okay, so people are saying about all endings took about 30 hours. That's good. I mean, one of the things that I will talk about in the year-end video that I've really made it a point to try to do. Previously, if I started a game, I said like I'm gonna really put my time in to finish it. Even if I'm like not really super into it, I'm still gonna like push through and finish it. And this year, what I've really done is if something isn't like grabbing me, then I will shelve it. I'll leave it on my now playing and maybe I'll come back. But when I do find something I like, I've really slowed down my like playing it and to see just like really kind of take everything in.
Yeah, well, I mean, I know you did a lot more with like side quests in Dragon Quest XI than I did.
Yeah, I mean, I put out like 100 hours and then over 100 hours into Dragon Quest XI.
Well, I mean, I did
find it like if I'm gonna play something, I want to just put in the time to experience the world.
I mean, I did side stuff in Dragon Quest XI, but I didn't really do a lot of like the. I didn't do like the the general NPCs like, oh, I want this item quest all that much.
Yeah. It's $5 from Ben Brody. Thank you, saying, have you guys seen or heard about the GameCube or PS2 emulation on the new Xbox consoles? If so, do you have any thoughts about it?
I heard.
Modern Vintage Gamer did several videos on it.
I heard about. Like, I mean, I didn't see about those platforms specifically, but I thought, I saw some stuff about RetroArch running on it, but something like you only get access to like one core or something like that, which sounds, I don't know if that's accurate, but that sounds weird. Although I guess for emulation, like maybe it doesn't matter because I think emulation is more about single thread performance. I don't really know. I'm not an expert, but I would like to know more.
Would you like to know more? Yeah, I mean, I haven't looked too closely at it.
I mean it sounds like it could be.
I don't have a system, and I'm not super excited by it right now, but can anybody run this developer mode?
Yeah, I think you pay like $30 or something. I don't know if it limits your system in some other ways though.
Artemio is saying, I believe that Nier is one of the most important games made in the last decade.
Whoa.
Are you talking about not Automata, but the first one?
The first game is so interesting.
Did you?
I did not play it until well after it was out. One of our friends that I played Final Fantasy XI with was super into it, and that was like the first time that I ever like was aware that there was like this Nier fandom, because like the game got like 3s and stuff, and the reviews, like, it was really poorly reviewed, and like it is not really a good playing game, but it is an interesting game.
Well, I mean, it's like the first game has definitely has some jank, and that's why they obviously went to Platinum
yeah.
for the sequel. I mean, and the sequel has like a lot more stuff going on.
Yeah, I mean the only like gameplay aspect of the original that I really cared that much for was I thought the boss battles were pretty well done, but I definitely did not like particularly enjoy just like the normal like traversal and stuff.
I wonder if they're gonna refine any of that for the new.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. I mean, I would definitely be happy to try it again. I mean, it's a very odd game for sure, and a game that even though it had this cult following, like I mean I don't know if it's really a fair comparison, but I definitely at some point like kind of thought of it as similar as like the Deadly Premonition fandom, where it's like this like kind of not well made game, but it's got a lot of heart.
Yeah. But if anybody in the chat does not know about it, one of the weirdest things about it is that it's based on this. It's a spin-off from the Drakengard series, and that it takes place as an extension of, I think it's the ending D in the first game, where
so specific.
you open like a portal and you have this big boss battle in the real world, and like supposed to be our world, and it causes like when you know the character in Drakengard beats the final boss, and that it like spreads this like this disease in like our world.
That's like what the beginning of Nier is, right?
What's that?
The beginning of the first Nier is like...
Yeah, as well, I mean, there is like this huge timeline that has been written out that explains and, you know, gives like time. It takes like hundreds of years for it to like really happen. But it's just about like the world kind of collapsing slowly over like maybe it's like decades or it's like hundreds of years. But it's weird, and it's very sad at the same time. I mean, that is definitely a game that, I mean, we talk about this a lot about how I like games when they kind of have a melancholy feel to it, and that is definitely one of those games. And I think that's one of the reasons I like it so much, because it is kind of sad and kind of depressing. Yeah, I mean, you don't have to play. I mean, I've never played Drakengard, and you don't need to. That's all stuff that you can just look up after the fact. I didn't know about it until I had already started playing it. But I'm definitely really into it, and so much to the fact that I just want to really just play it all the time. But I that probably has more to do with the fact that I have things that I need to be doing. You know what I mean? So it's...
I know what you mean.
You know that feeling? It's like, you know, if I had all the time in the world, like, I probably wouldn't be playing it as much as I want to play it now.
I know what you mean. But yeah, I'm looking forward to playing through that.
And another interesting thing is it just has these bullet hell elements to it.
Oh yeah, well that's like how the boss fights go in the first game, which I really liked.
Yeah.
I thought the bosses were really for me the best game design aspect of the first game. Outside of that, I thought it was kind of weak, but interesting. Definitely. I mean, I did the first two endings in it.
Yeah.
I didn't do any other endings. Does the second game connect to the first in any obvious way? Huh?
I don't know. It's supposed to. I mean,
but it's not. But the story that stands on its own within the game, like if I don't remember the story of Nier all that well,
I'm not sure. I think that I have heard that it has a lot of stuff and it connects more closely than people would expect.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm excited to see how it goes. But I mean, one of the things I liked about it, and when I played it originally, I had no idea, because I had no idea what it was even in store for me, because, you know, it's one of those games where I knew I was going to buy it eventually, and I didn't see anything. And I mean, spoilers, but like immediately out of the gates, you're like, what is going on? Because the game opens. Have you played the beginning of it?
I've played the beginning. I like the little like overhead shooter portion, and then I got to that boss.
It starts out. It's like it's a shooter.
Yeah.
at the start, and it goes into those kind of modes fairly often I mean, not fairly often, but once in a while.
Mhm.
And it's really unique. I was not expecting the game to open like that, where it's just, like has a full-on shooting section. Your ship kind of looks like the ship from Ikaruga. It feels, in some ways, it feels a little similar to that.
Did you know that our friend Lindis did the English translation for the art book, the official art book, or one of the official art books? I don't know if there's more than one.
I remember hearing about that.
Yeah, that because she borrowed my Nier 1 and Nier Automata as research. And played through both of them.
Kibbleblade.
Kibbleblade EX. Back in the day, me and my friends had names for ourselves based on different Kirby enemies, and one of my friends' names was Joe, so he was Knuckle Joe, obviously. And I was, the final boss in Milky Way Wishes is Marc's, and so just because of the similarity in name, I was Marc's, and our other friend was he was Sleep. But Sir Kibble is the name of the enemy that gives you the cutter power, and I don't remember why this was, but I just remember it that we gave one of my friend's moms an honorary Kirby title, and it was we I think instead of Sir Kibble we called her Ma'am Kibble. I don't know, we were weird kids.
Someone said something about Lord X Mugen was saying, I just got a Donkey Kong Country Returns Tropical Freeze on the Switch. It just mirrored a lot of later day platformers use pitfalls too much as difficulty mechanics.
I mean, I think a big problem that those games have is they're kind of these set piece games, and they use this falling apart of the world is this mechanic a lot that I especially in the first one I did not enjoy.
But speaking of Switch, what, and also speaking of Nier and Platinum Games, what is the deal with Astral Chain? What is the deal with Astral Chain's price?
Oh, is it
I don't think
expensive?
The game has ever gone on sale, and it's never been available. I mean, the only reason I thought about this is because the pre-owned version from GameStop was $29.99 today. But I'm not going to order that because I might just get the cartridge. I'm not going to order that from GameStop online.
Wait, I'm confused. What are we confused about? Is it expensive or something?
It's full price. It's
Nintendo published it. Of course it is.
Right, but I mean, it has never been on. I've never seen Astral Chain brand new, for anything less than $59.99.
I feel like this is entirely unsurprising.
I don't know. I did a GameStop order and got Fire Emblem, new Mario Deluxe.
Well,
Yoshi's
yeah,
Crafted They were,
That's unusual though. Like I got
$26.99 each.
Yeah, I know, but that's very unusual.
Well, it is, but I mean, I can see like a lot of times they'll be on sale at least for $39.99. I've never seen that happen with Astral Chain, and now I'm kind of afraid. Like, is it never going to be? Is it going to be $59.99? Like, and never go on sale ever?
I don't know.
Doesn't Walmart sell all the games at $49.99? It's like $49.96 or something like that. But I mean, maybe they have Astral Chain there. I don't know. I was just thinking about how, like, that's definitely something I want to get, but I cannot believe that I've never seen it for. I have never seen it for like anything off.
I don't know. I just don't think it's that surprising.
Yeah, Walmart is not carrying it according to their website. Oh, so did you buy that Fire Emblem? Is that Fire Emblem available on the store?
I had not buy that Fire Emblem.
What are the impressions of it? I mean, if it's just like a port of an NES game, does it actually have any like other scaling features?
I mean, I thought the trailer looked like it had scaling issues. I thought, but that would be surprising considering that, you know, Nerd, Nintendo's European, what was it? Nintendo European Research and Development. They've had really good interpolation in their emulation ever since the SNES Mini.
But I mean, I wonder if it has any. I feel like they added rewind. Nothing about scaling.
That's kind of cheating Fire Emblem. Although Fire Emblem, actually, I think the way the random number generator works in it, I believe you can't, like, if you make the same move, like if you make the move and the enemy has, like, you know, a 10% chance of a critical hit, I believe that 10% has already been, you know, selected.
Yeah.
Like, you can't redo the move and get a different result. You will always be hit with a critical strike.
To the previous, like, before you even, like, have to the end of the last person's turn. The last
you could, I guess, but, you know, like, I mean, that's, you know, that game is, you know, it's the original Fire Emblem, and I thought Shadow Dragon was really boring. You know, that's you know, the DS remake of it. I could not bring myself to play very far into Shadow Dragon. I've been playing, I haven't played in a couple of weeks, but in November I started Fire Emblem Echoes, which is, you know, a remake of the second Fire Emblem game. And I've really liked it. It's a lot better than Shadow Dragon, that's for sure. Although I don't know for sure, like, how much some of the elements are, you know, from the game or new additions. But I thought it was just so boring. Shadow Dragon. I'm just not that interested. Like, if there was a physical copy, I would absolutely get it. But without a physical copy, I'm just not that interested.
You're not gonna. I mean, I'm not super interested, but I'll still buy it because
it's limited. It's
only gonna be available. Yeah, it's only gonna be available.
That's just playing into Nintendo's hand.
Yep. Well,
that's what Nintendo wants you to do. You've never even played a Fire Emblem game, and here you are buying one.
I know. Well, I bought the 3 houses. It was $26.99. I mean, I have several of them. I need to.
I mean, I'm playing. I mean, that's one of the reasons I'm playing the Fire Emblem Echoes right now, is because it's like, well, I really want to play 3 houses, but I feel like I should finish playing the 3DS games first. Last summer I did Fates, which I did not. I mean, it was fun to play, but I felt like the overall scenario was kind of bad. But I mean, you know, it was still a fun game.
I mean, I got
and Path of Radiance are 2 of the best. Absolutely. Path of Radiance might be my favorite.
That's the GameCube one, right?
That's the GameCube one. That's a good starting point, too. I mean, besides the fact that it's, like, ugly as sin.
It's all right, though.
Like, I mean...
Is it? I mean, how long would you say it is?
It's pretty long. I would guess 50 to 60.
Same.
I'd have
it's not
to
so
look
bad.
At,
I mean, that's one thing that I feel that I played more RPGs this year than I had in quite a while.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know, I feel like that's something that I've realized a lot lately. Is like, I think I've said this before. Like, I used to always think like, oh, like I've got to have a big break between RPGs. Like that's such a commitment. Like, I feel like lately I've kind of got my head in this place where I'm like, whether I have time for it or not, I'm just like always in the mood for RPGs. I've been thinking about like maybe after I finish Fire Emblem Echoes, I kind of want to maybe play some of those Xbox 360 RPGs that, you know, I can play on backwards compatible mode. I mean, there's a bunch of them. You know, it's so weird how it was like this RPG powerhouse for a while. You know, like I mean, some of them, like, there's definitely mixed opinions on some of them, but like, I still want to give them their fair shake. You know, games like, I mean, obviously, Lost Odyssey is pretty universally liked, and I played to disc 2 on that several years ago, and I loved it, but I just like hit this difficulty spike and just never worked my way past it, and I just never moved on. But anyway, like I've got like, you know, obviously I've also got Blue Dragon, Infinite Undiscovery, which is a Tri-Ace game. I mean, I feel like Tri-Ace games, you know, even though they can be hit and miss, like you always know you're in for something at least interesting with Tri-Ace, I feel. Yeah. Like, they never like, they always do something a little unusual.
I'm not sure if I've really found one that I was super into. I mean,
you haven't played Residence of Fate, have you?
Valkyrie Profile is good, but I haven't finished that.
Have you ever tried Residence of Fate?
No.
That is a weird but very interesting game. It's very weird. It's got this strange vibe to it where like there's like there's a main plot, but it's kind of in the background. Like the like day-to-day, chapter-to-chapter gameplay is like all about like just like these 2 guys and this girl who like live together, and they like take on, you know, various sort of mercenary jobs, I guess. And they like it's all just this goofy stuff that happens all the time, and it's just it's hard to explain. It's like it's just like the main
goofy
plot
stuff with a impossible to understand battle system until like you're like in the final battle before you even understand what's going on with it.
It is definitely a fairly obtuse game to understand, that's for sure. But like you've probably seen like pictures of people like showing like, you know, I heard you like scopes, so I put scopes on your scope so you can scope while you scope or whatever, you know, because like the gun customization system is like hilarious. Where like you just have this like grid and you just like stick like components on it like at any direction, any angle you want, and it just looks so stupid but hilarious and awesome. It's a weird game though, and like they just find themselves in all these like, you know, sort of weird, like mundane but also very strange situations, and like there is a main plot, but it like doesn't feel like it really like comes to the fore until like the very end of the game. It's difficult to describe, but it's just I like how different it is. This is Mondo EX.
Mondo. I don't know. I'm excited to do the end of the year video. Like I made my list of the stuff I'm going to talk about.
No, I'm excited to do it too. I think it's gonna be fun.
No, it's kind of we should talk about like our whole method of recording that we've been messing around with, about like how useful it could be. It might seem ridiculous to some people.
Oh yeah. Like
it's a really good idea that Try had, and then you know we figured out some various ways to make it happen, and it's kind of exciting.
It's kind of a game changer, I think.
When we record games, you know, we always have the capture program open, and we like hit record, and we just want to start recording.
And obviously, if you were like just playing through a game for pleasure, you're like, you know, you want to. We want to talk
about it in our end of the year video. It's better to like capture the video while you're playing it instead of going back to it and getting all this.
Right. But you don't want to record while you're playing, because either you just press record and forget, and then you've got this like hours long file, and you know, and then over the course of like, you know, I don't know, 30, 40, 50, 100 hour game, like if you record everything, you'd run out of hard drive space. But you don't have like a good representation then a lot of the time. Some stuff I have recorded as we've gone along, but you know, we always wish we had done more.
Yes. So Try had a really great idea. It's like, what if we found like a program? At first, you were wondering if there's something that was offered in OBS.
Like if someone, like if anyone knew how to make like a OBS like script or something, so that you could just tell it to like record for 1 minute every 10 minutes indefinitely.
Right.
And that doesn't seem to be a feature, but then I was talking to Drumble about it, and he uses a program called AutoHotkey. But he says it's like, you know, it's a programmer's program. You know, you
have to write the code to do it.
But then I found
Then I found a program called it's called Macro Recorder, and you can just like set it to, you know, press the whatever key it is on your keyboard to record. I'm doing like 2 minutes every 8 minutes, and it just keeps on going. And for like older games, I have like a separate script for that will make it so it'll record for 1 minute every 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
which is just, I mean, it's just handy, and you just let it go.
Yeah, so I'm using the script that Drum made for me for OBS for right now, but I definitely might try that in the future, especially so I could use it in other programs. But yeah, it's awesome. I feel I experimented with it while I was playing through Fuse, and obviously sometimes, yeah, you just you record while you're in the bathroom or you're upgrading your characters, but it's just great. You can just turn off your monitor. You don't have to think about it. And you will get enough useful stuff. If you really want to delete some of those clips, you can. Like, I crunched some numbers of, like, if I was going to be, like, super optimistic about how much game time per week I might be able to pull off for an entire year, you could record... I think you could have an entire year's worth of gameplay on, like, a 4 terabyte drive, easy. A good quality at 1080p. Now, if you did want to record some 4K stuff, that would eat into it, but it would still not be that crazy, I think, to store all that stuff. It would be a whole lot better than what it would have been. So I feel like that's just a total game changer, and it's going to make the...
You just run it, and then you don't have to think about it while you're playing a game.
Yep, and then the end of the year video next year, I think, is just going to be so easy to do. And there's going to be, I think there's going to be games that, and we've normally been like, I'd love to cover this, but it's just going to be too hard to go back and get enough footage for it. And I feel like we'll be inclined to talk about a lot more games that way. Something I would like to figure out is if, you can open 2 instances of OBS. But what I don't know, I'd have to experiment. Could I possibly open one and have just the game full screen and then set up interval recording while I'm streaming a game? I wonder if that would be possible. So I could capture I could be capturing full screen of this while streaming.
Right. I think the AverMedia supports the NDI thing, where you can send an instance to it. Doesn't affect the program. It just sends a duplicate of the input image or whatever, the input signal. I don't really know exactly how it works.
I mean, but I would obviously want to be sure that it's something that you could do, without dropping frames in your recording.
Right. I see some people talk about the Mister, and I just wanted to show. We got one of the. I guess it's over here. The Mister add-ons aluminum case. It doesn't have an end on it because I'm waiting on a USB. So if you have the really old USB little dongle, it's too big to fit through the hole. So I'm waiting on a new one of these so I can just swap that out. There's some gray ones. He had some gray ones.
Wait, I thought yours was gray.
It is.
Well, was he out of them or something?
Huh?
Are people saying he was out of them or something?
Yeah, they're sold out. He was saying that I think that he's going to be getting more in next week.
Oh, okay.
The black ones are cool, but I just wanted something a little different, so I went for the gray. And I like the gray. If it's in bright light, it's silver, but in more dimmer light, I think that I like the look of it a bit more. The lighting in the room really affects this one, and I wanted something that's a little different looking.
Well, it'll be good for our misters to look different for B-roll.
Yeah. And I like my green acrylic case, but I like the smaller footprint of this, and I like the metal case. The aluminum case. And I knew there was like some empty holes on it, so I ended up getting one of the audio input things, and I also got one of the real-time battery add-ons. You never know.
Oh!
So hopefully the replacement USB connector will come this week, and then I can put the end on it. I didn't realize though until I got it that the cover actually has like a big heat sink that goes down, and it has a little pad that you put between the FPGA and the heat sink.
I mean, it makes sense because it does say, you know, passively cooled when he advertised it.
But it's a big heat sink. It's pretty cool.
The whole thing
Although
is a
I don't
heat
really
sink,
know what the power only is, like an empty USB spot on the back of it, and it's empty. It just says power only. So I don't know what that means. I don't know what goes in there.
That's funny. The star was going slower than the goop, and it actually like knocked it back when it hit it.
But it's cool. I mean, it's cool to have different options. I did like how my PCB case, or not PCB, but the acrylic case looked. The lighting on it looked really cool. But if I end up getting the second one down the line, I'll have an extra case for it, I guess. Although I wouldn't mind getting one of the digital I/O boards that just like to have a smaller version to make it more portable. I don't know. It's very fun. And I end up getting. I was juggling multiple USB storage, but I ended up getting one of these SanDisk, like the little fit things, tiny little thumb drive things that go in there. And it's this 512 gig, so it just goes. Look at that! It's just like right in there with a barely even sticks out. I don't know if anybody in the chat that has a Mister. I've been running into a little issue with my my 8BitDo M30 2.4 gigahertz USB version. Not really a problem, but it only started happening recently, where if I start up the system, I actually have to remove the controller dongle and reinsert it for it to register any inputs. But it didn't used to do that. Like
Yeah, I mean that's the controller I use with it, but I mean I updated it, I don't know, a month or two ago.
And it started doing that?
No. I mean it doesn't do that.
Well, I mean I update mine every time I turn it on, so. There's $5 from Cradley1654.
Thank you.
Surprised that hard to find an expensive Luigi's Mansion remake on the 3DS is.
Really?
Going for at least $50 used for what seems like an inferior version. I forgot that even existed.
Oh yeah, the remake. I was thinking of Dark Moon, but yeah, I forgot about that.
You even have that? Do you have it?
No, I don't. I know that John Linneman did a video comparing them. I mean, you know, there's definitely pros and cons to both versions, I think. But yeah, like I mean, it's not where I would want to play it. I still haven't played Luigi's Mansion 3.
Lilo, but like the thing is it used to work fine. I never had any issue until probably like a month or 2 ago. I mean, I don't want to have to get like attach another adapter to it. I just like having the dongle sticking out of it. I prefer not to add anything in between, especially when it was working fine before. I'd rather remove it and reinsert it every time than have it like another adapter attached to it. I'm going to run to the bathroom. I'll be right back.
Okay. I saw someone a bit earlier say something about modifying an ITX case for Mister, which sounds like it would take up a lot of space, but that sounds interesting. I've always found myself interested by like micro ITX cases and micro ITX motherboards. Like I put one together several years ago. It's not like the smallest case in the world, but like you know, Windows didn't run very well on it, so I installed Linux on it, and like it's still like it wouldn't play like YouTube videos back very smoothly. But I'd definitely like to try again because I feel like, you know, a more modern, like, micro ITX sort of form factor would probably work fine for smooth video playback. No, the classic controller cannot be used on this game. You know, I was kind of hoping you could use like the NES Classic Edition controller, but I forgot. You know, I mean, it's been a long time since I played through it. I mean, it came out in 2011, I think. And I'm playing hard mode now, but I replayed normal mode just because, like a year or two later. And yeah, so it's just been a while, and I forgot that there is some motion control stuff in it. You know, you have to. There is some. To inhale like heavy objects, you have to shake the controller. There's not a lot of motion control stuff, but it would be nice if you could use the NES controller. What's going on here? I see. I'm playing on the Wii Dual. The Wii Dual mod, which is a mod that, you know, adds like it adds RGB output, and but most importantly, it also adds HDMI output. So I am playing this over HDMI. This is the first time I'm like using the mod for like a real play session. I just got it a few weeks ago. I mean, I've definitely had ideas like, oh, I'd like to stream this or that on the Wii. I was like, I should wait till I get a Wii Dual. Yeah, I'm talking about that Wii. Did you see? You see, John Lennon made Chad Warden for the story mode in that NBA game that he reviewed. No. It's like kind of like amazing looking, actually.
Yeah.
Like it legit looks like him.
I have to check that out. So when I was upstairs, I was looking through the kids' snack bin. I just grabbed a package of Super Mario gummies.
Oh,
Let's
what?
see who's in here.
I'm curious how recognizable anything is.
They got Toad. You know, my kids call Toad. They call Toad Todo.
Toto?
Yeah.
I mean, Toad is really such a weird name for that character. Like, and it's not just a character anymore. You know, like the whole species is called. They are a Toad. So here's something interesting.
It's a whole bag of Super Mario edibles.
I didn't know that this was like a thing, but like when I was playing Paper Mario Origami King, I saw that some people were asking about whether. Whoa, no. Oh, I bet there was something cool down there. I guess this is something that came about when Sticker Star came out. You know, like sometimes Miyamoto's weird. Okay. So sometimes I just don't understand how he thinks. But like
Sometimes.
a lot of the time. But like apparently this was like an Iwata Asks actually about Sticker Star. And apparently Miyamoto had asked you know, like why don't you see if you could make this like only using like characters that like already exist in the Mario universe? And like there's one like new character in Sticker Star, if I recall. It's been, you know, it wasn't an amazing game. And like apparently like this has kind of been a mandate to some extent ever since. And like part of these like stylistic mandates is that like Toads like can't really have like special designs or anything. And like there's some Toads that have like hats sometimes, but like for the most part they're pretty much just regular Toads, and they're all male, or at least, you know, they look like they're all male Toads. Like they all just, like Toads just are like
except for Toadette, right?
Well, no, Toadette's not in these games though.
Oh.
Toadette, you know, has actually been introduced into the Super Mario series because she's in she's in Captain Toad, which like I kind of consider to take place in the Super Mario continuity, if you want to get into that. But she's also in she's in Odyssey, so you know she's kind of transcended. But like, yeah, like she's like the only one, but she's not in Paper Mario. So like, if you remember, like Paper Mario on N64 had like female Toads, but now they're all just like they're just Toads now.
Straight up Toad.
Just straight up Toad. I mean, it's just Toad. So it's kind of odd, but I mean, you know,
Full on Toad party.
But I forget where I was going with this. I think just talking about the Toads, the Toad gummy.
Well, I ate them all.
Oh, okay.
No.
What else did you have?
There's a green Luigi one. There's something that I could not tell what it was. It looked like a Koopa shell, kind of. I'll tell you one thing though, is I went to, last Sunday. I went shopping with the kids to find Christmas presents for them, or like so they could get a Christmas present for the other one. Mm-hmm. And we stopped at Cold Stone, and I got the Super Mario birthday milkshake. and it was pretty good. I mean, it was birthday cake flavored,
I love birthday cake flavored ice cream.
but it had this kind of like graininess to it that I think that some people will be like, oh, that's kind of gross, but I felt like it kind of gave it more of a cake like consistency.
What made it so birthday cakey?
Just the flavor.
Oh, I meant yeah, I know that, but I said the wrong thing. I mean, what made it Super Mario?
Nothing.
Was it like
the cup that it was in?
Was it like blue and red or something?
I mean, it had like these blue streaks going down it
Okay.
on the side, which doesn't really make any sense. Seems like they'd have like at least if they put red in there too. But I thought it was really good, and it had this whipped cream on it that was really thick whipped cream. But that was basically the last thing that I would have needed to get those Mario pins if I wanted to.
Oh, I didn't know that was part. Man, those Mario pins, like I dragged my feet a little bit on.
Like Boss Nass kind of.
Huh?
It looks kind of like Boss Nass.
It's Fatty Puffer EX.
Yeah.
I missed the boat on those Mario pins, and they're awesome, and I'm bummed out.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think it's kind of crappy that they asked people to go to Cold Stone like in the middle.
I didn't
like,
even know that was one of the things.
That,
like, you didn't have to, though.
But you needed that to get the pins.
There was like several things that you optionally could do.
You had to do all of them.
Oh, wait.
Because I did everything except for
Hold on a second. There's a second. There's a second group of pins. Are you talking about the second group of pins?
No,
the first. I qualified for the first one. Like, you had to like register like 3D All Stars and like do a bunch of like little things on websites.
Whatchamacallit, like the wallpaper and stuff like that. Yeah, I mean, I did everything except for the Cold Stone. I thought it made it seem like I had to do them all to be able to get even that first set of pins.
You definitely didn't have to do them all. Also, Gaming Blows, I'm playing on hard mode where the bosses are harder and Kirby has half health.
Well,
I don't think but like the pins were gone. Like I did all the I did most of the things, and then like I think I waited on doing one, and then like a week, and they were gone.
First set had 6 steps, and you had to do 5 of them. I'm pretty sure that I wonder if I can even look. If I can look that up. Log in. Are the missions.
And like I like kind of got into pins lately because Fangamer had these Kirby pins, or not Kirby, yeah, playing Kirby. Goemon pins, and I was like, oh, these are kind of awesome. I should get these. I don't normally buy stuff from there, but I was like, I want that.
This is so I did them all. Let's see. I did the purchase the Mario 3D All Stars game. Try the Super Mario Music Player. Download your This Is My Mario image. I did the Super Mario quiz. I visited the official Super Mario website, and I played Super Mario 35. So the only ones that I didn't do is redeem a code from Cold Stone Creamery and race in the Super Mario Kart tour event.
Yeah, you didn't have to do everything.
Well, that sucks. I could have gotten them.
Yeah, but I mean, I think they were. I don't know how long they were around, but it certainly wasn't very long.
Oh well.
But yeah, like I kind of got into pins lately because I was like, what am I going to do with these Goemon pins? Like I just really want them because I like Goemon. But I was like, what am I even going to do? You know, I've got pins, but I don't really do anything with them. And
you want to see the coolest pin I have?
but anyway, yeah, sure. I hung my pins on this window curtain in my office. Like I just started decorating it with a bunch of pins. Like I've got these old like Club Nintendo pins from several years ago that's like all like Mario 1 sprites and stuff.
Pins are big collector's items. I bet you this might be something that people will be after. I mean, it's kind of a major thing.
I'm going to guess it's Sega related.
It's not.
Okay.
I got this at the Consumer Electronics Show in 1993.
Oh, is it Star Fox?
Nope.
Is it Jurassic Park?
It's the Street Fighter II Champion Edition.
Here, let me
Little bottom
put up
hanging on it.
the dual cam.
Well, you don't have to go.
Well, I wanted to see it. Huh. I wonder you should see if you can find out how much that's worth.
I don't know if there's any of them out there. I have it on my little cork board back there. Send it to LGR to review. Does he review pins? That pin's $57.62 on eBay right now. So this is like actually being sold on eBay. There's somebody out there that has this. They got it at CES and Summer CES in 1993.
I mean, I guess it's possible they could have been used somewhere else in promotion.
Yeah. I got a Super Mario 3D World pin that was like on a pair of cat ears that I got at New York Comic Con.
Oh, I guess that 57.62 is Canadian.
Yeah, it's still $45 US for this thing. I'm pretty sure I have a Star Fox one around here.
But you know what? I still wouldn't buy you a copy of Astral Chain.
That's true. I also have a set of, I think it's like most of them is of Street Fighter II Pogs that I got at that same Consumer Electronics Show. You can only collect so much stuff. Yep, I mean, that's why I just stuck it in. I still had it, so I stuck it in my corkboard. Yeah, I have Street Fighter II Pogs. Let me see if I can find them.
LGR reviewed a file cabinet? I don't think you'll see file cabinet reviews on My Life in Gaming.
Yeah, try to look. I don't know if you can see that or not. Look in the camera. See, I do have that.
Let me put it back on dual cam. Oh, the Star Fox. Where'd that come from?
I'm pretty sure I got this one for competing in the Super Weekend.
Ah. Ooh, Knuckle Joe. It's interesting how many like classic powers they managed to like save until much further into the game than this. What if it was a Nintendo store display cabinet? Well, that would obviously be interesting.
I have this. I wonder. You probably have this too, though. I have that Kirby 20th anniversary coin.
Oh yeah. I've got that like sitting out on my. Oh, I see. I've got that sitting out on like my game shelf, but I don't have it in that case. I do have the case, but somewhere. I forgot that came with it.
I see it. Corpse 413 is saying, "Did we see?" Asking if we saw the casting choice for Solid Snake, and I'm pretty into it.
Yeah,
I'm into it. Like, I'm more annoyed with the fact that like every single thing that they show, saying like, "Oh, he's gonna be playing Solid Snake," shows a picture of Big Boss.
Well, if somehow that branches off into more movies, he'll definitely have plenty of other characters to play.
I mean, we'll see. We'll see how it turns out. I want to be optimistic, but I'm unsure if it's gonna.
I mean,
what I would like to happen. I mean, they wouldn't do it because of the way that it's. Everyone knows Metal Gear Solid, so they want to do that. But I mean, if they like did an adaptation of Metal Gear, the first one,
that would be good. Well, because that like, you know, there's no like really detailed representation of that story. Like, I mean, Metal Gear is entirely defined by Kojima's directing style to me. So, like, it's just weird to imagine anything Metal Gear without Kojima. Like,
yeah, it's gonna be because there's so much weird stuff in there that it just will not work in.
Well, I mean, we've already seen it done once before with Twin Snakes. Like, it didn't feel right, you know?
Yeah.
It didn't feel like Kojima.
I mean, to be fair, I think that if it doesn't need to feel like Kojima. Like, the only reason it needs to feel like Kojima is for like the fans, but for like general audiences who have like no familiarity with Metal Gear, like that's
no,
kind of
but like, is the movie really for them?
Well, the movie is you can go upwards right there. I saw a thing that looked like you could shoot upwards there.
Where?
When it was like spinning around, there was like a tunnel. You could have gone upwards.
No, I think it's too late now.
Yeah.
I
mean, if they want to like,
but
make
like
money,
the
they gotta.
The director, though, I understand is a pretty big video game nerd.
Yeah.
Like, he's the guy that did Kong Skull Island, which apparently has like some like subtle like video game references in the background. Like, I think I heard him say like, oh, like one of the mountains, like I had Death Mountain in my head when I put that there or something.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I think that's gonna. I mean, that one photo we've seen of like the Uncharted movie, it's looks slightly better than I was anticipating, but I'm still not super excited about it.
I mean, I think he's way too young to be Drake.
We're still in that period. It seems like where. Like the comic book movies were in the 90s, where they don't want to just like try to adapt the story of the game. They'd rather try to make it its own thing.
Mm-hmm. The thing with like comic book stuff though is like comic book characters like have been rebooted so many. I mean, I say this not as a comic fan, you know, particularly, so I'm sure that people have lots of opinions, but I mean, comic book characters have been rebooted so many times that it's okay for movies to have their own separate continuity, but like
Sure.
I don't think video
They're all,
game
like,
fans are
adaptations of stories that happen in the
right, or they're like combinations of you know, different
Right.
comic storylines and stuff, but there's always something a
Yeah.
little different. And like, you know, movies have always been my preferred format to take in a comic book story. You know, I like the characters and the stories, but like just the books, you know, the actual comic format is just something that I just, you know, don't really feel compelled or have the time to consume. You know, so I like the movie format for them. So I'm okay with that. I'm sure maybe comic book fans think a lot differently, but I don't think video game fans are really ready to accept that with movies. Like they want it to be what happens in the game, you know? And I guess if, you know, if it came to something like Zelda, that's different, where Zelda already is like just like different legends, different characters every game, you know?
Yeah.
But I think, but anyway.
There was a $5 from Tony Galvin saying that Marvel has never rebooted.
Like the comics?
Yeah, I mean they've restarted, like they've come up with alternate universes of things.
Right. I mean, that's what I was.
I don't believe they've like ever ended any specific story, like any specific thing.
Okay.
You know, like they might have like alternate versions of the characters, like the Ultimate Universe and stuff like that. But
I mean, that kind of stuff is what I had in mind. Yeah, like I knew that there were like different variations of, you know, characters and stuff.
There's also $2 from Gaming Blow saying, if I donate $2, YouTube might stop censoring me. I mean,
what is it censoring you
I've
for?
never seen anything come up. Like I always hit accept. I'm not seeing anything here. Jamie White with the hard question saying, will you listen to the audiobook for Ready Player 2?
Is that a real thing?
Yeah, it came out like this past week. So I might end up listening to it. I'll be completely honest. I listened to the audiobook to Ready Player One when I was driving down to Florida in August, and I did not like it very much. I know that there is a lot of stuff that's. I mean, I've seen the movie. I was anticipating the movie before it came out, but I had not read the book at that time, and the movie was all right. Like the first time I watched it, but I didn't.
It was okay. I wasn't like super into it.
Yeah, but I mean the book is fairly different. I think it's weird that, I mean, I have no idea. Like I saw some stuff about what happens in the sequel, and a big part of the, like, I don't think that they'll make a movie of it. I mean, I guess they could make a movie of it, because in the same way that, you know, The Lost World was written basically so they could make a movie of a sequel to Jurassic Park, even though the movie and the book are like fairly different. Like maybe this is a similar situation here, but it was. Kirsten Water saying Ready Player One is one of the worst book ever written. Yeah, I mean it was like almost no part of it like did really anything for me. I liked the beginning of it, a bit, and there was certain things that I did like about it, but I mainly just like felt really bad that it was celebrating the fact that so many people's entire lives were based around like just like basically other people's passions. You know, they only liked the things that they liked because somebody else liked it. Somebody that they liked. Does that make sense?
I guess. I mean, the best part of the movie I thought was like the actual guy who made the game. Like, I thought he was just a really interesting character. Like, I just thought the actor was really interesting the way he portrayed him.
Yeah. And, you know, the whole idea is like more of a point in the movie than it was in the book about how, you know, like you can't just like live for this stuff because, you know, you're missing out on like real life. And it seems like the book did not like only kind of really mentions that vaguely at the very end. So that's why I wonder how much we'll be able to, I don't know, we'll just like be able, if they do make a movie of the sequel, because the whole point about like in the movie is like, I turned off the Oasis on these days of the week to like force people to go outside. Or just,
a big aspect of, you know, the movie was that, you know, there wasn't much in the real world that anyone wanted anything to do with anymore anyway.
That's the thing. I mean, the book kind of makes more of a point of that, where it's like, okay, so if we win this thing, we win this money, like we can use this money to like do something and like help people. And that wasn't really played upon in the movie at all. But in the book, the real world is much. It's not nearly as bad off as it is in the book. But I don't know. There just when I was just like listening to the book, there's like a lot of times where I just like felt like it was like embarrassing. And I mean, I don't know. I could see how people would really like it, but I mean, I've had a lot. As someone who does not read books or listen to audiobooks very often, it didn't really do anything at all for me. I get the idea that Ready Player 2, I mean, I wonder if he even made it because he wanted to. Or if he just did it because he knew it would be at least some sort of a success, no matter what. And I from what I understand, his follow-up book was not very good. Yeah, I could see that. Like a lot of successful team books are cringe. I mean, sure. I mean, I guess that's the thing, is that perhaps this, in a way, it's like it's a book for teens, but people that are teens in their 30s and 40s. If that makes sense. I could see that, like it is, like it's, you know, it's a teen book, but clearly the amount of stuff that's in there is to make people that are our age interested in it. I don't know if there's a lot of teenagers that would be interested in all this stuff about Atari games.
But who knows?
So okay, here we go. There's many donations I missed there. Sorry about that. It's very difficult to get my thoughts out on on that book and movie, I guess. We got $2 from John Perry G saying it would be cool to meet you guys one day. Well, maybe when the world opens up, be able to go to a convention or something.
Yes, but is Retro World the last convention we were at? Well, there was the whole Retro Create thing.
Oh yeah, but that's
that's different. But I mean, that's the last time I saw you.
Yeah, that was over a year ago now. There's also $2 from Warren Hokie. Thank you. Saying no question, just love the content, just keep it coming.
Well, like I said earlier, there's definitely 100% 2 videos at the very least in December, because there's going to be NT Mini Noir and the end of the year video, the games we played in 2020.
And there's also $2 from Jonathan G. Thank you. He says favorite non-Final Fantasy PS2 RPG. And go.
Let me think.
I gotta look at my list.
I mean, Final Fantasy 12 would definitely be up there for me. But I mean, that's easy. Dragon Quest 8. Should the question be non-Square Enix? Definitely Dragon Quest 8.
Let me see what I've played.
Let me think.
I have not played very many PS2 RPGs, it looks like. From the looks of my backloggery page.
Let me think. What else?
It's kind of, for me, I guess, based on the ones that I finished, it'd have to be either Dark Cloud 2, which is kind of an action RPG, and Arc the Lad: Twilight of the Spirits.
You wouldn't put Dragon Quest 8 first?
Yeah, I mean that would probably be the best one that I played. But I was just trying to think of something that was non-Dragon Quest.
I mean that's probably my favorite. It's probably my favorite PS2 RPG period. Like even above little Waddle Dees. I see Kevin F saying SMT3. I mean, I played Persona 3 on PSP, but I played Persona 4 the first time on PS2. So yeah, I would say between Persona 4 and Dragon Quest 8 for sure for me. And, I've seen there's like a new version of SMT3 Nocturne.
Is that that's?
I think it's out. I think
in Japan it's out.
Like I've seen like I don't know if it's in English necessarily, but I've seen that there is a physical copy you can buy on like Amazon Japan. I keep forgetting about it. That's a game I want to give a try. I was not that into SMT4 when I tried it, but I still want to give mainline SMT a chance.
It was $5 from John Perry G. Thank you. It says a younger me had visions of a new type of online game where you could actually make money via e-commerce in a real-time game world. So is that like you go and you actually have to go to work?
And now you probably are like, oh, that sounds bad. I mean, wasn't that like the whole thing of the the Diablo 3 like marketplace or whatever. Wasn't that a thing?
Or like the auction house where you could sell.
You like sell your loot.
Right.
And then there's like the whole thing with like the Steam cards. They're like people like pay real money to have in their virtual card collection. Like, I mean, no offense to anyone who is into that. I just don't get it.
You had to buy stuff from the auction house to be able to advance.
Wait, what? Oh, or was that the original plan? Because it's definitely not how the console version of the game plays. I've got the Switch version. I mean, you beat it on PS4 by yourself.
Yeah. I liked it.
That would have been a good game to have had in the games we played that year if only we had invented interval recording.
Yeah. You know, that was the first game that I beat in my old house.
Really?
Yeah. Sometimes I look at, whenever I see episodes now from that house, it seems really weird.
Yeah, I mean, I've only lived in this house since we started the show, you know, so.
I mean, it's been almost a year here now.
The first game I beat in this house was, it was either Trails of Cold Steel, Trails in the Sky, or The Last Story. I think it was The Last Story. And actually, I'm pretty sure I was actually at my parents' house and played, when I played at the end of Trails in the Sky, now that I think about it.
Yeah, you know, the first one I finished here was Super Mario 3 on the Super Nintendo.
Was it really?
Yeah. On
wow.
screen. That'll be in this the games we played it this year, because it was the first time I played through that one.
You know, it was a year of remakes, and that for you was one. Yeah. One that did not come out this year. But man, this year was all about remakes. I mean, even the one generation exclusive game in the new generation is a remake. There were so many remakes this year. I mean, there was, I don't know, Demon's Souls, obviously, Final Fantasy VII Remake, Trials of Mana, Resident Evil 3, Xenoblade.
Is that in your segment?
I have not written anything about any remakes yet. I mean, you know, again, that's another game that if only interval recording existed, and you can only have 3 save files in it. Like, that's something I consciously do, is like make as many save files as the game will let me. Because, you know, I then can go back and record footage. Not just for the end of year video, but just for any video, you know?
Yeah. And I know we did videos on Final Fantasy VII Remake and Trials of Mana, but I'm still I'm gonna talk about those a little bit in my segment, because Tri has way more games than I do anyways that he gets to talk about.
You talk about more longer games, though, I think.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. We'll see. You just have a lot more. I mean, how many games did you finish this year?
I don't know. Look at my backloggery. The number of new games I bought is significantly small.
I beat 17 games this year.
17 games?
Yeah. Which is, compared to previous years, how does that rank?
I mean, really?
That's 2 more than I beat last year. That's 4 more than I beat in 2018.
Wow. Well, that's not bad then.
You beat 45 games. which is 6 more than you finished the year before. 45 games. So,
Well-
so you have a lot more things to talk about than I do.
Well, you also keep in mind that, I stream one more night a week.
Yeah.
And a lot of those stream games on the Backloggery are,
Well, I mean, considering that outside of playing games on stream, I did not play any games off stream for about like the first 3 months that I lived here, because I was too busy like working on the house and stuff, and the setup and everything here.
Yeah.
So I mean, the fact that I did finish what I finished is actually
That's
pretty impressive. And the fact that a lot of those were longer games.
What's your Backloggery ranking for the year? Like, what's the plus minus?
Well, I can't really get a good idea of that. I mean, I can give you the number, but I don't think it's accurate because I have redone how certain things are listed. Like I started adding like certain things from compilations, stuff like that. Like it's like higher than it was last year, which should not even be possible.
Yeah, I mean, mine's a lot better.
I'm anticipating the remake of the site so that I can basically reorganize and redo like everything on there.
Yeah.
To properly reflect stuff, because I want to I want to keep track of things that I have digitally, but also and also have physically, but I don't want it to. I want to figure out a way to make it so that it doesn't like count towards like my overall amount.
Mm-hmm.
I had come up with like a really weird idea recently, but I thought I'm just not going to do anything until the remake comes around.
Kind of what I've been doing lately when it comes to like compilations is I've been kind of just adding the compilation as its own game until like I actually like if there's something I need to beat in it, then I will like obviously mark it unfinished, but then as I beat one thing in it, then like I will decide later if I want to like separate it out into individual games, because like sometimes when I buy a collection, sometimes it's more just for like either collection purposes or just to have like or convenience purposes, or like, oh, it's nice to have the Switch version of this. But it's like I don't necessarily want that like taking up all this space on my backlog.
Right. I'm hoping that the remake will allow some better ways to be able to properly to manage that kind of thing. I mean, I'm not even sure what to expect, but
it sounds like he's getting relatively close, actually.
Nice.
How am I supposed to get that key up there?
Yeah, Tony Hawk came out. I mean, there's a lot of stuff. I mean, there's a lot of stuff I could talk about, and I will talk about several games in the video that I did not finish. Because, I mean, I finished 17, but there's a lot of other things that I want to talk about that I have still not finished, but have made an impression.
Oh, the Model V doesn't trigger it? Lame. Well, I'll figure that out another time.
The ice skill?
Hmm?
Someone was just saying, should you use the ice skill? Yeah, 3D All Stars. Like, I mean, that's not gonna be on it. But you could talk about 3D All Stars because you finished. Married
I
but
mean,
there's
I
not a
don't.
lot left to say. I mean, you
Yeah, I
could
don't. I mean,
dedicate
that's.
it
I don't.
to.
I don't. I don't really feel compelled to say anything about that. I do want to. I do want to play through Galaxy on it though.
Yeah, same here.
You know, I mean, if you look at how the Wii remote moves, like, back in the generation, like I thought it was a lot smoother than it really is, to be honest. Like, I feel like using the Joy-Cons and Galaxy, might not be the downgrade that I was worried it might be,
Right. Yeah.
It might actually be a little bit of an upgrade. Sandy had to come running when she heard the Wii sound, the Wii menu sound.
Okay, one more level and let's call it a night.
Oh, it's 11.
Yeah, already.
Well, I think I'm not sure. Let's see how many levels are left in this world, because it'd be nice to at least finish the world. Because I think it's level 4.
So is Star Allies only like 4 or 5 worlds?
I think it's 4 worlds. Yeah, it's like
That's
the last world is. I mean, they're, I guess, sort of big worlds. Like the last world.
The last world is really big.
Yeah,
for sure. But still, it is. I guess that's silly. I did play General Chaos. I have the 4-player adapter too, but
played what?
I can't remember too much about it. We did play it a lot though.
What's General Chaos?
General Chaos is a Genesis game, as Electronic Arts Genesis game, where it's kind of military strategy-esque, but also a shooter. I guess it's like it's what's a good example? Like I want to say it's almost like a modern twin stick shooter, but not. That is a game that every time I see it, like at a game store or something like that, I think, oh, I should buy that. General Chaos. I mean, there's probably a point where I thought it was called General Kos.
General Chaos.
General Chaos. I mean, it's the same thing with there's a game on the NES called Dr. Chaos. And for the longest time, before I actually heard what it was called, I used to call it General Kos, or not General, Dr. Kos.
I don't remember not knowing how to say chaos, but I'm sure there was a time I had to learn it. We all had to learn something sometime. I remember, I'm sure a lot of people had this. I mean, like, I learned the correct pronunciation of, CORPS from Blast Corps. Because if you say it like you would spell it if you didn't know what that word meant, or you'd never heard it spoken out loud before. I mean, you would think it's Blast Corps, which sounds like super violent.
Yeah.
And,
I've never played Ultimate Kings.
I'm pretty sure it was my dad when he saw the title of the game. He said, "Oh, that's pronounced core, not corpse."
It's another day in the Corps.
Although there have been a few. There have been a few comments on videos that have said like, "Oh, like you're, like why are you calling it that? You're pronouncing that word wrong." They think it should be Blast Hardcore. Yeah, Contra. Yeah, some people have said that about Contra Hardcore. They've been like, why are you pronouncing the game that way? Like, I don't think there's like a regional variation on that, but there could be for all I know.
John Perry G wants us to stream Beavis and Butthead. I could see maybe one of these times I'll stream Beavis and Butthead in virtual insanity.
What's that for?
It's a scum game.
Oh, is that?
I can play it on the Mister and the Scum VM. I am a big Beavis and Butthead fan. I am exactly the age for it. You know, I played it. Or I didn't play it. I watched it as it was new as a teenager. I saw the movie in the theater.
Hi, Sandy. What are you getting all up in my face for? What is it?
I don't know if what's considered better, the Genesis or SNES version, but from what I understand, like the PC version is awesome. It has like full involvement of like, everybody from the show doing their voices and everything. I thought that the Beavis and Butthead, the new Beavis and Butthead episodes that came out like in 2010 were really good also. I don't think that those have been re-released anywhere either. But they were very good. And just as funny, if not funnier in some instances. Staying up late and watching Beavis and Butthead on MTV was the coolest thing you could do in 5th grade.
The coolest thing you could do.
The HBO Max announcement is pretty crazy, actually. I'm interested to see what that's going to mean. Did you hear about that?
No,
about how
what is it?
every single one of Warner Brothers movies is going to release in theaters and on HBO Max the same day.
Like
all their
indefinitely?
all the movies that are coming out next year.
Just next year or indefinitely?
Well, I mean,
like.
They just said for like next year, for now. Like that like Matrix 4 is going to premiere.
Oh wow!
They're starting it on Christmas because with Wonder Woman 1984.
There's only one more level before the boss, so I feel like I should just finish the world.
Okay, and also Dune, yeah. I mean, it's a pretty big thing.
I mean, I would have loved it if, you know, all the movies that were coming out this year could have, you know, already done that.
Yeah, but I mean, they're not going to do that until. I mean, they didn't know, for one.
Right, but I mean, it certainly would have been nice if, like, you know, James Bond and, you know, that Ghostbusters movie and all that stuff could have come out this year. That would have been good.
I mean, that's not even Warner though. But I mean,
James I know, Bond, but I'm just saying, I wish that could have.
They're trying to get like $6 billion or something like that for a streaming service. Which is insane. But yeah, I mean, I think about just like watching like a new movie like that in my basement with like the surround sound on and the lights down. It's I think it's a great experience.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly, you know, if it ever came to a point where that just like became a regular thing where you had the choice of watching new movie at home or in a theater, like, I'd probably never go to the theater again. I mean, I wouldn't say never, but
I mean, there's certain things, certain situations where I feel like I would still go to the theater, but I mean, that's not something I would do until the kids were older.
I mean,
I certainly would have watched a lot more things as they came out than I have since having kids.
I mean,
But I mean, there's still like some event things that I can't imagine anything being nearly as good as like watching like Avengers Endgame, like opening night, like the first showing, like in a packed audience. Like it was like you can't replicate something like that at home.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
I mean, there's a fair amount of people out there that say like, oh, I can't stand it when anybody makes a noise or anything during a movie, or like it's.
I mean, there's
the same people that say I can't stand it when people clap at a movie. Like,
I mean, I can definitely feel the energy sometimes, you know, of a movie theater, but it's just, I mean, honestly, like going to the theater is too expensive. Like I just think movie tickets are too expensive.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's the thing. It's like they are so expensive at this point, and especially if you're gonna take kids. Like, I will tell you that it was kind of cool that so some people like in our circle, like their friends that have kids the same age, it was one of their birthday, and for the birthday party right now, movie theaters are doing like private screenings. You can like pick from a big list of movies, like new and old, and have a private screening for like $100 for you and however many people you want to bring.
I mean, if it really is unlimited people within your group, like that's not bad.
Yeah, I mean,
it's not a bad deal. I guess.
Considering that if you go to like a new movie and you want to get popcorn and you know you have 2 kids you're bringing, you're spending like $60-$70 on that alone for one family. But if you can have like all your friends come, I mean I think that's well worth it.
Yeah.
Even if it's like not new movies. Like we were saying, oh, we should bring our kids to see Gremlins. But Gremlins is pretty scary. I think that they'd be emotionally scarred after seeing Gremlins.
But I mean, I feel like, I mean, I guess like the codecs are better, you know, than what you get with streaming. So, right. I mean, that's one thing, but like, aside from that, like, I feel like my OLED looks better than a movie screen. I mean, there's definitely an appeal to the large projection. I mean, don't get me wrong, but you know, it's just, I might prefer the at-home experience. I'm not saying I definitely do, but I'm kind of getting to a place where I feel like I might prefer it.
Yeah. As Gaming Blow says, like going to the theater isn't always about visual fidelity. It's like, you know, having a shared experience. You know, that's why I think that like those big movies, like opening night, you know, like there's very few things that can match up with that. And that is the times that I would go if I wanted to see something. Like yeah. I would if I had a choice, like for like Avengers Endgame, like there's no way that I would have said I'm just gonna watch this at home instead of going to the theater.
I don't know. I mean,
like Star Wars, Star Wars Episode 7. Like, there's no way that I would have watched that at home before I.
I mean, you know, when Avengers Endgame came out, like, Drum and I were like way behind on the whole thing. I think he'd seen like a couple of them, and I'd only seen Iron Man 1. And like we had no expectation that we were actually going to manage to catch up by the time Endgame came out. And then we kind of did, and we're like, whoa, wait, Captain Marvel is still in the theater. Like, we could go see Captain Marvel and like 2 days later go see Endgame. And we like, because we got caught up to what was available at home, and all we had to see was Captain Marvel. And we could go to the theater, and we're like, whoa. So, I mean, that was like a cool special treat to ourselves for having like done this crazy marathon through the year up to that point. I mean, that was definitely a special experience, don't get me wrong. But I do feel like if I had the choice, like if it was the same price, I would probably do the theater. But if it was like cheaper at home, you know, and you got to like keep access to it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Mostly to me, going to the theater is more about like, I want to see this movie now. Like I don't want to wait.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I saw Sonic in the theater also, and I thought it was fun. That was the last movie I saw in the theater.
I still think it's so hilarious that like
Sonic is the highest grossing movie of the year.
Is it? I mean,
yeah.
I guess that is not surprising. I mean, I think it's funny that you know every time
like have you seen Sonic? Have you seen it yet?
I have not. I want to.
Oh, it's on. It's on the Voodoo.
I know.
I mean, just like with the movies that didn't come out, like everyone's like, oh, like maybe like Jim Carrey's probably gonna get like an Oscar nomination. Which,
Could you imagine a world where
like
Jim Carrey?
Certainly possible.
I mean, that's kind of what I mean. I was gonna say, like, who would have believed you, like, in 1993 or whatever, like when Jim Carrey was like, first becoming a thing, and like Sonic the Hedgehog was a big thing, in games. Like, who would have believed that if someone told you in the year 2020, Jim Carrey is going to be Dr. Robotnik, and because movies are going to be canceled throughout the course of the year because of a pandemic, Jim Carrey as Dr. Robotnik is going to be plastered over every movie theater for the entirety of 2020 because
there's nothing else.
I mean, like, it's such a weird situation.
I see someone say that, like, I know people like to say it's good, but I just can't get the idea of Sonic coming to the real world. It just seems so corny. And I totally agree. I wish that it wasn't like that. But with what they had, with what they did, it still worked, I thought. But what I'm excited about is that hopefully, like, whatever, like the sequel will barely like take place in the real world at all.
Oh, they've already said that, or is it just set up that way?
It's just, I mean, a lot of that's kind of set up that way. I mean, do you know about like the post credits?
Doesn't Tails have something to do with it?
Yeah, I mean, Tails is like in the post credits. Yeah, I mean, it's tough because if it doesn't take place in the real world, then it's like, why not just make it an animated movie? And I think that's kind of the toughest situation with stuff like this. And I think about it a lot. It's like, it's not gonna take place in a real world. Like, you don't want it to take place in the real world, but you want it to be a live action movie. But it's gonna be mostly animated as it is. Like, how do you even do that? Like, why not just make it an animated movie then?
Well, I mean, it's kind of the situation.
Still coming?
Huh?
Like, isn't there supposed to be like an animated Mario movie, like a CG animated Mario movie would be great. I think a CG animated Sonic movie would have been really good too.
What are they going to do? Like, is Mario going to have dialogue though? Like, I don't think I could handle Mario having dialogue.
No, I know. There's $4.99 from Eric Schuster saying Dr. Robotnik is confirmed to be breastfed in the Sonic movie, so the movie must win Best Picture. That is the only reason. I don't know, but it's true. Like, I mean, my kids loved it.
Well, it wasn't one of those old movies.
Yeah. It's funny because I tried to watch the original Superman with my son, and like before the opening credits were over, it's like, let's watch something else.
I mean, I have to admit, Superman 1 is kind of a tough sell. Like I had to watch it a couple of times before I appreciated it.
Yeah, but I mean, watching it, I mean, there is almost nothing better than that Superman theme, though. I mean, that Superman theme playing over the opening credits is the best part of Superman Returns. Like, that's the best part of the movie is the opening credits. I mean, Superman 1, might not seem like much now.
Well, I mean, it's just, I mean, I consider 80s movies to be my favorite movie genre. And like 70s movies, sometimes 70s movies are great, but like, I feel like movies as a whole in the 70s, I understand where your son was coming from. I don't, every once in a while I'll watch a movie from like the 60s or the 50s, but it's not my go-to. It's usually kind of like, I'm usually kind of cautious about it. Before the 80s, it's very hit and miss, but there's a lot of really good late 70s stuff.
I see that John Perry G is asking if there's any drive-ins near either of us. I went to the drive-in a couple months ago. We went and saw Hocus Pocus and the Addams Family at the drive-in. I went to the drive-in a ton growing up, though.
I've never done a drive-in.
It's awesome. I mean, I saw so many movies as a kid at the drive-in, like so many like classics. Or future classics, I guess, at the time. I saw Big at the drive-in. I saw Ghostbusters at the drive-in. I saw Spaceballs at the drive-in. I saw Godzilla in 1985 at the drive-in. But I saw a lot of them. Yeah, oh, they give you your own speaker or something like that. Nowadays, you just tune into a channel on your radio. But when I was a kid, they had a speaker. You'd take it off this post, and it had a cable to it, and you'd like hang it inside your window.
It probably sounded horrible.
Yes. But you know what?
We liked it.
It worked, and you didn't have to fiddle with anything. you just take it, and you put it in your window, and it works. You don't have to like find any stations on the radio. You just turn it on and it works.
All right. Well, I guess that will do it. That's a strong start in the game for me. There's one more world on Popstar, and then I think after Popstar it's like 2 worlds. I think I know one of the worlds after you leave Popstar is called Dangerous Dinner. which is one of the best names for a world in video game history.
Did you see the plot twist coming?
I did not.
Me either.
I was not going into this expecting plot twists. I mean, you know, Kirby lore, it gets crazy. Although with this game, I'm not really sure how connected, like, this one has always seemed like a little bit outside of like all the connections that the most recent ones have been throwing at you. I mean, Robobot and Star Allies get like when you get to their final bosses. It's pretty crazy.
If you're into that Kirby lore,
I'm kind of into that Kirby lore. I wish I knew it.
the new games are a feast.
I wish I knew the lore by heart a little more than I do, but there's definitely some mind blow moments in these recent games. All right.
We'll do our best to get this episode out during the week. Depends on our speed and workload outside of the channel.
It'll be a
We'll
challenge,
see how that
but
goes.
we'll go for it.
Yep.
All right.
Thanks everybody who donated tonight and everybody hung out. It was
Yep.
a lot of fun.
Catch you
And
later.
we'll see you soon.